This is where it started. This is Shelter Cove Harbor. It's one of the two most attracting sites on the beautiful island of Hilton Head at the southern tip of South Carolina. So this is a golfer paradise. There is a boardwalk here in Shelter Cove Harbor, many shops and restaurants. And this is where I decided to move my little art gallery and studio. So let's go inside and show you how it happened. This is the little art gallery, the windows, and let's walk inside. It has been 7 years since we moved in this spot, and we enjoyed living here, and we have very nice people, mostly from Ohio, but all across the eastern part of the United States. So we have been doing well here, and I'm very happy to be here. So I paint in the back. Right here is my little studio. I usually leave the door open, and when there's somebody walking in, often my wife is there, and if she cannot go and talk to the person, I will often leave my work there, wipe my hands, and go talk to the person that's walking the gallery. I usually wait for them to stop in front of one of the paintings, and this is when I will start saying hello and talk to the person. But that day, I had just finished cleaning my hands in the back, and I look at the window at the door, and there was that man that walking. His body language could tell. I mean, the guy was perfectly dressed, total self-confidence, and he was handsome. I mean, I never met anyone that handsome. He was bursting with energy. So I thought, wow, it will be a pleasure to talk to that man, and hopefully he might even buy one of my paintings. So I waited until he stopped in front of one of the paintings. And at that moment, I went and I started talking to the person. I said, hi, how are you doing? And the man said, with a nice smile, he said, I'm doing well. So there was a moment of silence, and I wanted to fill it up, and so I said, where are you from? And the man said, I am from anywhere and everywhere. What an answer. You know, there are all kinds of weirdos walking in an art gallery, and my hope to sell a painting to that man had just dropped to the ground. He was one of those weirdos. What kind of an answer is, I am from anywhere and everywhere? But I didn't show anything in my face. I just kept smiling face, and I said, so what's your name? And the elegant man said, you can call me God. Oh boy. Another weirdo answer. I hope at that moment that my wife, who was sitting behind the counter, I hope she was listening to the conversation, because it was turning very, very strange. So I looked at the painting and I said, do you like it? He said, yes, I do. So I said, so do you want it? I didn't have any hope to sell him a painting. He said, yes, I buy it. Boy. I said, this is a $10,000 painting. He said, I know, Richard. The man knew my name. I would swear, I would bet my shirt that I had never met that man. I would remember him. He was so special. But I didn't want to show that I did not remember him, so I let it pass. And so he said, yes, I know. So I said, so you buy it? He said, yes, I buy it. So how will you pay me? Will you pay me by check or credit card? And the man that wanted to be called God said, I already paid you. I deposited the money in your checking account. Oh boy. You know, a checking account is something that we artists knows about. We don't have much money in our checking account usually. And when we receive a bank statement, first thing we go to is the balance. We want to know how much we have. Can we meet the ends of the month? So I had received my bank statement the day before, and I had talked to my wife about it. I told her, you know how much we have in our checking account right now? We have $38,000. And I could see that it comforted her, and I was very happy, and that was the day before. So he could not fool me there. If he deposited money in my checking account, I would know. I would just check and I would find out. So I didn't say anything to the elegant man. I said, do you want me to bubble wrap it? Or should we ship it in a crate? And he said, no need for that. I already got it in my office. Oh boy. But I said, the painting is on the wall. He said, I made you a copy. At that moment, I turned my head to call my wife. I wanted her to meet that guy. I mean, this was so weird, so strange. And I said, Lise, come over here. And I turned my head again, and the man was not there. He had disappeared. So I said to my wife, I said, did you see the man I was talking to? She said, no, there was nobody with you. But there was an handsome man, elegantly dressed. He said he bought my painting, and he made me a copy. She said, that's impossible. But I said, he told me he deposited the money in my checking account. I have my checking account file here. I have my bank file here. Let's pull it out and see if the last bank statement, if there is any change in the statement, just for the fun of it. So I pulled the file, the bank file out, took the last statement, and look at the balance. It was not $38,000 anymore. It was $48,000. It was impossible. So I told my wife, you remember what I told you yesterday? She said, yes. She said 38,000, but look, the numbers is 48,000 now. You know what? I'm going to call my bank. So I called my bank, and I talked to Chris, the person in charge of my account. I said, did you get a deposit of $10,000 today? She checked, and she said, yes, in fact, there was a transfer of $10,000 from a Swiss bank into your checking account an hour ago. Oh my God. Then I started to shake. I told my wife, you know what? It happened. I just met God. He walked into our little gallery, and he loves my work. God loves my work. And he bought one of my paintings. And this painting on the wall is a copy, a God-made copy. So it has to be perfect, perfect copy. Impossible to differentiate. But I know this is a copy made by God. So you know what? We will not sell that painting. We'll never sell it. We'll keep it. And I thought after that, and you know, if I tell that story on a video, some people will want to know, is it true? Did it really happen? I would like to answer that I prefer people to decide by themselves if it is true or if it is fiction. It could be either one. It is your decision, your freedom of choice. But coming to God, I wrote in one of my books a while ago that the universe is very strange. The simplest thing, like a chair, is not really a chair. It is a construct made out of wood fibers and other elements. And all these wood fibers and elements are made out of polymers, chain of molecules. And the molecules are made out of atoms. And the atoms have a nucleus and electrons gravitating around. And people, scientists, have been trying to collide at high velocity the protons to see if there are smaller particles that are making up the protons. But what are making up the electrons? When we come to the infinitely small, we realize as scientists that it has to be the smallest particles have to be particles of God. The fabric of God is supporting all the matter in the universe. So God is everywhere and anywhere. And He has an unlimited power. He can take the shape of an individual, of a human being for a while, and maybe interact with us. I have seen more than one miracle in my life, and I have been in contact with spirits, ghosts if you like. And I have even had a near-death experience where I had a peek in the afterlife until the lifeguard brought me back to life. And it changed me, it touched me, and I thought for many evenings when I was working under the stars, I thought about the possibility of life on another world, the purpose of life. And I decided to write a story, an afterlife story. So let me show you the 3 books here. These 3 books, Gamma 2, an afterlife story, and then I have the sequel, The Land of Magic, and the third book, The Return of the Emissaries. I would like to tell you something about those books. And if you go to my website, you will see also other books with 150 photos of my paintings and some text. And in this one here, I started to put short stories in it, in addition to the photos of the paintings. There is a 3rd book coming up in June. That one will have many short stories in it, plus another 150 paintings of recent work that I did. But coming back to that story here, if you like the story you just heard, you will enjoy that story. It is one of a kind.